As we always do about this time, what are we jamming on now, Jay? What are you jamming on now, besides a lot of Abobo, I am sure?
Oh, man. Very, very few things. You know, doing some Call of Duty Zombies every now and then, picking up some new unlocks there, which is always fun with the crew. And then Courtney and I actually finished It Takes Two, which was great. You know, very good co-op, good story, had us both balling at the end, you know, family, you know, married couple coming back together kind of thing. So highly recommend that to play with a friend or somebody close to you when you get a chance. And then the only other game that I've spent any time playing, honestly, has been Disney Dreamlight Valley. I love my shooter games, my first-person shooters. I love my PvP, jumping into COD, Halo, all those kind of games. But every now and then, I need to take a pause, Josh, and play a little coziness, a little less stress kind of a game. And so there's tons of cozy games out there where you can just, you know, you're making food, you're building a house, you're just talking to friends, kind of a la Animal Crossing. And this is kind of like that to me. This is like an Animal Crossing set in the Disney world. And so the story's kind of fun, like it has a fun background story. You're not just dropped there randomly meeting people. So you have to have some magical quests to do that you follow as you meet people. And it has the whole daily maintenance things, becoming friends with people and the different characters. And so, you know, I didn't think this would be my jam. Courtney's played this extensively in the past, and so I was just looking for a little calm, cozy.
You weren't heavy into Animal Crossing when that hit in COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I played it for a little bit, you know, just to, you know, for something different to do. And oddly enough, when I hear the Animal Crossing music now, it immediately nostalgically takes me back to 2020, like height of COVID, sure, just sitting at home playing that. But yeah, man, this game is actually really fun. It's really fun if you like cozy, if you love the Disney universe, interacting with those characters and having like a low stress affair. I highly recommend it. So that's
low stress affair.
Yeah. Not normally what I'm doing in my games, but when you come home, sometimes I'm not looking to destroy things. I just want to chill.
I just like the sound of that sentence.
Trademark, low stress affair.
Okay. That's it?
That's it, man. I've been, sprinkling a little time here and there, but it's not had enough playtime.
I don't feel like our listeners are going to trust that this wasn't a contrived effort to keep this a minimal endeavor. This what we're jamming on now thing, because I also did next to no gaming. I don't think I've touched my Quest since we last recorded.
Dude,
it just between playing the shit out of this, willingly so, not even like in some dutiful way, and a few other little things that Amy and I have done with the point and click shit. Mm-hmm. Like it just hasn't been any gaming going on. But
I feel you, man. You know what? I actually, now that I mention it, I did pick up the Quest just to play a little more Starfield in that with the Starfield updates. Okay. Courtney's been sucked into that with all the updates, and so I like playing that in and outside of the Quest. It's a different experience, so that's kind of been my only other time picking up the Quest.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see what the advantage would be to playing it on a flat screen in the Quest headset.
Well, it's kind of like I don't know how often you've gone to those IMAX screens in the past where they have the big curved screen, which is like,
sure.
You know, huge, and you just feel more immersed in it. Like, I'm not, you know, nobody's going to confuse this with an actual real VR experience. But like when you're in there, there's just something different about like it just feels more immersive that way.
Yeah, so, I understand that. Yeah. It just to me it's just like if I'm not getting that full, I guess I'm speaking. If you're saying it just immerses you more, that's the answer, I suppose. Yeah. But I try to like, as much as I love VR, like I don't have some like yearning for that thing to be in my head either, you know what I mean? It's just the experience of a VR game inside of it is so worth it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anything like a shortened or more abridged whatever of that seems like, I don't know if that's enough of a trade-off for me, but I haven't tried it, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not saying I would go out and buy each piece of equipment just to have that experience, but if you already have Game Pass or you already have Starfield or one of those games, I mean, it'll definitely like give it, like even I played Forza Horizon in that, same thing, like a racing game, which is already like the best racing game there is. You play it in there, it's much more like, whoa, like it just is it kind of gives you a different level.
Hear that. Well, we did. Yeah, we finished Paradigm, that point and click I mentioned last episode, and it's fucking great, dude. I would put it right there with like as far as modern ones that I've played go, which isn't a ton when it comes to point and clicks in the modern context. But I would put it right there with Thumbleweed Park as as the best modern I've played. Incredibly creative and fun. Just, the writing, just all so clever and well done. Just, I don't know, across the board, bravo. Like, nothing negative to say about it at all. The developer, Jacob Janerka is his name, has a new game he's tooling on called The Dungeon Experience that looks equally as smart and fucking out there, wild. And I'll be all over that when it comes out. I was, finished that, and I was like, what else has this guy done? And, he's got one that's pretty far along in development, I guess. So that's a cool, exciting thing coming down the pipe. And as soon as we finished, we're like, okay, what are we going to do now? We're in point and click mode. There's got to be something else. So we started looking around, and we downloaded one called Nightmare Frames. That it's a little more of a retro art style, like more kind of pixel oriented. The paradigm was more of like, it was still, they tried to give it some dated feel, but it was a little more painting looking than this. Like, this is like they're really playing up the pixelated aspect of it. Still looks good, but like, they're small pixels, but they want you to see the pixels for sure.
Nice.
Anyways, that's the aesthetic and the, I don't know, like the story setting and vibe of it. It's like this noir kind of thing set in 1985 Los Angeles, and the protagonist is a screenwriter that's begrudgingly fell into writing for B horror flicks. And we didn't get very far that night, and we haven't gotten a chance to play it since. So I don't know if it's as good or what, but it had a very, it was more Thimbleweed Park in that regard. Of like, it's just a more rooted story world. Paradigm was nuts sci-fi shit. This is much more grounded, but I'm sure just as quirky. I get the feeling so. Okay. TBD on that. But yeah, no VR really because Abobo.